Hello YouTube, welcome to my YouTube channel and at Bella, and today I am going to be doing a film review. I'm going to be doing Lord of the Rings, The Wars of the Rohirrim, or Roham, or however you wish to pronounce it. Basically, the land of men that rides horses in Lord of the Rings. It was very interesting. I loved the scenery. The scenery was beautifully done, and it's an animated film. It's 12A. It was a bit boring actually and plodding in places. Sorry, not going to lie. It felt like somebody had taken Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon and smushed it with Lord of the Rings. There were lots of things that I liked about it. Yes, we did get to see some orcs. We did get to see some Eastlings. Sauron was mentioned because they were hunting for rings, taking them back to Mordor. But that wasn't the main focus. It was actually to do, yes, it's very windy, but it's dry in the UK today, which I'm really pleased about. And we actually got to see the banners of Rohirrim, all the different clans, and an unfortunate incident within those clans. We also got to see the hammer guy that Helm's Deep ends up being named after. So it's a bit like filling in the blanks that we already know. In that way, it's sort of like colouring in the dot to dots line that leads from The Hobbit to the Lord of the Rings from man's perspective, or life in Roham. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 10. That's not because I didn't like the female characters. I thought the female characters were really good. They were just poorly executed, and that's partly down to Tolkien's environment, because it doesn't let women flourish like we would today, and that's due to the fact that it's, you know, Tolkien was writing in the 1940s, 1950s, and they had a very set view of a woman's role. And it's the same with C.S. Lewis in the Narnia books with Susan. There's a whole issue with the problem with Susan. And I mean, yes, he does kind of resolve it in Lord of the Rings when he allows that Rohirrim maid to help destroy the Witch King along with the two hobbits, Merry and Pippin, which is really good. But that's why in Peter Jackson's movies they had to give Arwen stuff to do, like take Frodo and flee with him from the Ringwraiths, purely because she actually didn't have that much to do, and they needed her to be a strong character, you know, to show. And that's why the Rings of Power is getting so much flack over the characterisation of Galadriel being so different from how she is in Lord of the Rings. And I fully get it. People grow, people change, but we're dealing with people that live like thousands and thousands of years. So it's very different. And the only person or entity that Sauron has actually healed was Galadriel. And I found that scene of them talking about why does she keep fighting, because she can't stop, and it was done over a forge, wasn't it? And I thought that was really good foreshadowing, because that's the only sort of human / elfling that he's actually had an impact on to change. So she's no longer going for revenge. She just wants evil to stop and for goodness to return to Middle Earth, and that's hugely interesting. Anyway, that's the Rings of Power. Back to this movie. I found it plodding and it was a bit confusing, and when the main heroine, I fully get sacrifice, fully get it, love it, and her and that wolf guy had that big fight, yep, get it. But as soon as she sent her father's armour to her cousin, she gave up her right to rule, because that was saying, no, this is yours, and I'm going to go off and be one of these banner maidens. And it was such a shame that we didn't actually see any of the banner maidens, like in a flashback or anything, because I think that would have been so useful to just consolidate their place. And it was interesting at the start that the songs were all about blokes, but the banner maidens and our main character didn't get a song. Yes, I know she gets a movie, but that's beside the point, because we all know what happens later on. So it's like you have female empowerment and then you take it away, and that's very interesting. Anyway, hence why I've only given it like 3.5 or 4.5 out of. The scenery was excellent, but I did find the animation somewhat jarring, but that's just me. It's just me. So 3.5, 4.5, depending on who you are. The pace was plodding. Don't take small children because they will get bored. Because it's Lord of the Rings, it's got to plod. We've got to feel like we're walking, even though we're not going to Mordor. It was nice to see Christopher Lee, even though he has passed. His voice was used, and Saruman the White turns up at the end. Huge spoilers. We do see some familiar characters and faces get mentioned, and various other things like that. I love the Easterlings. I'm really liking the fact that we got to see one of those like swamp squid things, those entities that are thousands and hundreds of years old in Middle Earth. We got to see that. that because poor Bill gets eaten by one of those. Poor Bill. Anyway, I've babbled enough. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 10. I've finally 4.5 out of 5. I've finally decided I'm going to ditch the 3.5. That's my review of Lord of the Rings, The Wars of the Rohirrim. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Yes, I know it's a bit short, but hey ho, we've got to strike while the weather is like not going to kill me. So this is good. Thank you so much. Please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell for my latest video. Bye.